Mel's Bowl by the Bay here in Alameda, California. What a live, exciting crowd here, ready for the finals of the AC Delco Classic. Beautiful trophy at stake, $23,000 to the winner. Our second stop on the 1983 Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. We're happy to be here, and I'm pleased again to bring in my colleague who knows all about the field, Nelson Burton Jr., Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Great field here today for the finals of the AC Delco Classic. This is their second time with the Pro Bowlers Tour. Chris, the field is a diversified field. We have two former champions, although they're not eligible for the Firestone yet. But in the first match, we have an exciting player. Phil Ringener is the hardest thrower I've ever seen make the championship round. He'll be going against Butch Soper, a veteran. The winner of that goes against Charlie Tapp. Had a great year in 1982, but he failed to win a tournament. In the semifinal match, we got my old buddy, Palmer Falgren, the hard worker from Boca Raton.
Your protege.
Well, if he wins, he's my protege.
Okay. Good boy.
And in the final match, Toby Contreras, a name I had never heard before this week, and nobody else had, and he came out here and took this field by storm, and the crowd. He is fantastic. He reminds me of Marshall Holman when he first came on the tour. He turns him on. He's going to be tough to beat.
What about the lane conditions?
Today, I think we have ideal lane conditions. Last week, we saw a very slick condition in the Miller Classic, low scores. In the AC Delco finals today, I think we'll have some real high scores, some big, real good pin action.
See you in a bit.
All right, Chris.
Bo Burton. Okay, stay tuned for an exciting afternoon from Alameda, California. ABC Sports presents the Professional Bowlers Tour. We're live from Alameda, California, where 9 years ago, Jim Stefanich bowled a perfect 300 game. The last 300 game bowled in the final round on television. Here's his 12th and final strike. Stefanich, the newest member of the PBA Hall of Fame. Today's field starts with 5th place Butch Soper from Newport Beach, California. Phil Ringener of Big Springs, Texas is in 4th place. From South St. Paul, Minnesota in 3rd place, Charlie Tapp. Palmer Falgren of Boca Raton, Florida is in 2nd place. And our leader is a newcomer, 25-year-old Toby Contreras from Kansas City, Missouri. So we're ready for that first match. Live coverage, ABC Sports, Butch Soper and Phil Ringener, the 24-year-old from Big Spring, Texas, with a heavy accent. Should he win? We have time for a presentation. You'll see what I mean. Only 5 feet 6 inches tall on the left. Butch Soper, 33. In the 4th position, Phil Ringener, Bo, will shoot first, and as you indicated, he is a hard thrower.
Flamethrower, and if he gets hot, he can really move the pins.
There was a very high hit, leaving the 3-6 on the left lane of our championship pair.
He must keep that speed up, Chris. We watched him make a real good charge for the championship round last night, and he throws real hard. If he eases up in his speed, the ball will run wild.
On the center of the approach, using most of it for the 3-6. Okay, with a lot of speed, it's a mark, a spare for Ringener in the first. Now we get a look at Butch Soper, 5'6", 140 pounds. And he really uses the approach. He's got his left heel practically off of it. Now to the line, first shot. Oh, crossing over. And now we get a chance to see how a split might be converted 310.
Butch Soper first hit the tour in 1972, Chris, and I can remember the telecast that you and the late Billy Whaley did with him as the tournament leader. He eventually lost to Bill Beach. Billy called him the Wild Stallion. That was 11 years ago. Since then, he has settled down to become really one of the steady bowlers on the Pro Bowlers Tour.
Lives at a great spot, Newport Beach, California. Oh, lovely. So a little bowling lesson early here. Butch Soper converting the 310 on the right lane of this pair. And now we'll shoot next on the left side. There you get a look at his personal statistics. Good way to adjust your television set. That is a brilliant red shirt that he is wearing. First strike of the first match. Let's check the pinfall on that last shot.
The outside line. See, Butch is out about the 5th board from the right-hand channel, and the ball breaks very sharply in the 6, drives in the 10. Right up. That's the sideboard, nudges out the 10. That's that extreme outside angle and the 3-pound, 4-ounce wood that we're bowling against today.
Ringener. Hanging near the channel and hooking in. Matching the strike of Soper in the 2nd frame of our first match. The winner to meet big, tall Charlie Tapp from South St. Paul, Minnesota. And the winner of that game will meet Palmer Fahlgren of Boca Raton. And then Toby Contreras, the tournament leader, non-winner, will wait for the winner of the semifinal. Hoping to double now, the 23-year-old from Big Spring. The line is a little different than last week, Nelson.
Well, they're playing the outside line, Chris, because they can get the ball to swing in. As you picked up, you see they're out about the 4th or 5th board. That a great angle to the 1-3 pocket helps drive those back pins out. Watch the 6-pin once again go to the sideboard and get the 10 out. From the inside line, we couldn't see that happen last week.
And Soper matches the performance of his opponent. He, too, has doubled. Strikes in the 2nd and 3rd frame, so it's all even. What a first match.
The championship pair at Mel's Alameda Bowl, 29 and 30. The left lane hooks a little less than the right lane. The players seem to like the left lane the best. Once again, the pin carry is sensational. If they can keep the ball in the pocket from that outside line, big scores.
A field of 5, all bowl from the right side. Great left-hander Earl Anthony finished 25th. Three-bagger. The game is on here in Alameda, California. PBA telecast will continue, but first we're going to take a break for this message.
On ABC.
Yes, a week from today, we moved to the desert in Las Vegas to Joe Kelly's Showboat Lanes, and what an establishment and what an event. Phil Ringener doing what he had to do to keep even with his opponent Butch Soper. He too has strung 3. That last strike coming in the 4th, so the match again is all even. Ringener, who coaches Little League Baseball in the summertime, move to the left.
Ringener using a hard shell plastic ball. Butch Soper using a much softer ball, a soft shell polyurethane bowling ball. Both doing well. Both have 100% pocket carry so far today.
Four-bagger for Ringener. That's a great performance for this 24-year-old because it's his first championship round appearance of his career. Not so for Butch Soper, who has 1 PBA title. Looking for his first money of 1983. Well, he'll get it today. Least he can earn is $5,000 should he lose here, but he's got a 3-bagger. Now he needs a strike to stay even. Oh, is that a line to the pocket? Showing us a little class, Nelson.
Well, the Soper has the experience, Chris. He's one of the toughest players I've ever had to compete against. He has such a game face. You can never tell what's going through his mind, and he performs well in the clutch. He doesn't beat himself, so he keeps the pressure on you. Very important in match play.
And the alternate.
The farmer from Idaho says he's growing beans and wheat this year.
Originally from Rowan, Indiana.
Good place to be from.
That's right. Look at that. 5'6" Butch Soper. Moving to that line beautifully and has strung 5. And again, he has a 10-pin lead. That can be erased if Ringener now can strike in the 6th. So Charlie Tapp, who will meet the winner, is taking notice of tremendous performance by these 2 pros here in the first match live from Alameda, California. Look Looked like it was going to be a thin hit. 5 in a row for each professional.
What a difference it makes when they can carry the pins. The players loosen up. They know they're going to carry when they hit light. Again, in the Miller Classic last week, we saw a lot of balls in the pocket, but they didn't have the surface friction and tension that the ball has going in the pocket this week. Tremendous amount of strikes. Both players have strung 5 in a row. They're all even.
Ringener, whom we said started bowling at 6, works in his mother's bowling center in Big Spring, Texas. Well, 4, 6, 7. Ringener's string has ended. Coming in the 7th frame of this first match.
Just go for the 2. 1,001 shot for the pros. Got to go for the pin count.
So it's our first open of this first match here at Mel's Bowl, right by the bay, not far from San Francisco. It's a city by the sea. We'll be back after this. First match, it's been tremendous. A 15-pin lead held by this man, Butch Soper of Newport Beach, California. He's on the right lane. And he has strung 6 strikes after converting a split in the first frame. We asked Butch why he left the tour and why he is back.
Yeah, I was out 9 years, and I did get burned out. I was making money for a while, and then all of a sudden the money stopped, and it was time to go back to work. And my sponsor, PJ Carroll, gave me the chance to come out on tour this winter, and so here I am. I'm practiced up and ready to go.
I guess. Now 7 strikes in a row. But remember, he marked with a spare, converting a split in the first frame.
Ringener at a 225 pace has a possible 255. Soper right now going at a 259 pace. Ringener has to put it together. You have to attack when the scores are high.
This 24-year-old finished 15th in this event last year. Left to 4-pin. Couldn't trip it.
He's kept it in play all but 2 shots, and both of those shots, he eased up on the speed and the ball ran high. There's no what we call hold area where you can pull the ball and have it settle in the pocket, but if you keep the speed up, it'll swing back from that outside line. Good carry. That's the first ball that entered the pocket that did not strike today.
Total prize money in the AC Delco Classic, $135,000, 23 to the winner, 12 for second. And a spare now in the 8th frame for Ringener, averaging 203 on this championship pair. Soper had 213. There you see the situation. A 35-pin lead by Soper. Charlie Tapp, who'll meet the winner, keeps warming up to the right, causing the sound of the pins falling that you hear occasionally here on our telecast.
Must-strike situation for Phil Ringener. Still possible 245.
Foundation 9th. And Soper is up with 7. Make it 8 in a row. When you're hot, you're hot.
It's just a matter of how much he can get. He's in the 260s. If he strikes out, a possible 290 game for Butch Soper. What amazing turnaround from last week when these players get loosened up. I think the second week out in the tour helps them all acclimate. What scoring?
Look at that, a 45-pin lead. Capacity crowd at Mel's Bowl in Alameda, California, enjoying the work of Soper, who has strung them from the 2nd frame on. So here we do, of course, have a winner. He will meet Charlie Tapp. as we pause to hear from some of the sponsors of the Professional Bowlers Tour.
Be in the 270s, Chris.
The Professional Bowlers Tour. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by AC Delco, General Motors Corporation. Quality replacement parts for just about anything that moves. AC Delco is the way to go. By light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. And by the STP Corporation. Around the track, around the world, depend on STP proven performance. And now back to Chris Schenkel.
The AC Delco Classic, second year for this event, $135,000 total, 23 to the winner, 12 seconds, 7,500, 6,000 for fourth. And Phil Ringinger of Big Spring, Texas, in losing the first match to Butch Soper, will pick up a check for $5,000. So, coming up next, Butch Soper will take on Charlie Tapp. Their Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message from one of our sponsors and station identification.
Fantastic. Everyone enjoys bowling. It's the largest participant sport in America. You'll enjoy bowling even more at a neighborhood bowling center. Bowling is still one of your best leisure time buys. It offers good exercise, competition, a meeting place for old and new friends, and fun for everybody for a lifetime. And many neighborhood bowling centers offer delicious food, refreshments, games, and entertainment in addition to league and open bowling. A total entertainment center is your neighborhood bowling center. Stop in anytime and bring a friend.
With 9 strikes here in Alameda, California, Butch Soper has defeated Phil Ringinger 279 to Ringinger's 225, and he had 7 strikes. So as a result of the victory, Soper goes against 6'5" Charlie Tapp, who on this championship pair averaged 198. It's our second match here at Alameda, and both it's nice to see the return of ABC's Wide World of Sports today, and nice to have Jim McKay on the East Coast in the studio, the host of Wide World, being with us today.
I agree, and I kind of miss that skiing myself. This time of year, the skiing should be great.
I was talking about Hahnenkamm, Kitzbühel, Austria. World Cup competition. You'll see it today. Downhill, treacherous downhill, along with the Harlem Globetrotters. First shot. Soper, who had 9 strikes in his first game victory, has opened with 1. So immediately the pressure is put on Tapp, who's had to stay off to the right and practice a little and watch. This 31-year-old pro from South St. Paul, Minnesota, looking for that first title, and he has had some close ones over the years. That will relieve some of the tension. And there's plenty of it there on the approaches.
Show how ideal these lane conditions are, Chris. Charlie Tapp, by contrast, is playing the inside line in the track area between the second and third arrows on both of these lanes. Butch Soper, naturally, we saw, is playing the extreme outside line. Both of them are effective. I really think that Tapp has the best shot to the pocket. Let's see what happens. He definitely, I don't think, will carry as well as Soper. Let's see if we can keep it together.
200-pounder with his second shot. And momentarily has the lead over Butch Soper. Charlie Tapp. Soper, as you'll recall, opened with a strike in the first after 9 in his victory in the first game over Ringinger, 279 to 225. Second frame, second match. Well, much to the pleasure of the founder of the PBA, Akron's own Eddie Elias.
Sure has a nice haircut. Look at that.
Doesn't he, though?
Yeah.
Cost him $60 yesterday.
I used to think, I used to use the adjectives ingenious and brilliant, but $60 haircuts, I don't know.
With no expense account to put it on.
Butch Soper, perfect through 2, has struck every time he's hit the 1-3 pocket today.
Oh, a high hit, and he gets them all. Three-bagger for Butch Soper. We're live in Alameda.
Watch the left side of your screen, the 4 and 7. The ball hits high, Chris, and packs the 4-7 straight back. The 2-pin goes to the sideboard and drives both the 4 and 7 back from that extreme outside line. Soper's got it going.
A baseball glove with the fingers cut out because of a very sensitive right hand, Charlie Tapp. Sensitive to the competition is Charlie Tapp, and we have an even match through 3 frames. They are perfect.
Some of the players patch up their fingers or thumbs early in the season where they wear blisters from an extreme number of games in January. Charlie Tapp opted for the baseball glove. He cut the fingers out, and it's protecting the blisters on his hand.
Re-rack coming up.
The reason the players are re-racking the left-hand lane, I noticed it earlier in the tournament, the 3-pin, or the pin just right of the head pin, sometimes is in tight, what we call, and sometimes causes a solid 10 hit. Charlie noticed it and got a re-rack.
Charlie appeared in 5 television finals last year. Crossing over and leaving the 5. A reaction from the South St. Paul, Minnesota bowler.
Just a comical guy. He completely lost this on the bottom of the swing and has crossed over, almost got a great break. It's a simple spare, but Charlie Tapp, one of the great personalities out here on the tour, is critical of himself and can still laugh at the mistake. Easy spare.
That pin looks so lonely down there, doesn't it? Charlie Tapp. Half a ball, Charlie Tapp. He trails by 1. We have a great second match. More of it following this message.
Today you need an oil this good.
In our companion show all these years, ABC's Wide World of Sports follows the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. Harlem Globetrotters and the Men's World Cup downhill skiing from Kitzbühel, Austria. Butch Soper, 3 in a row, shooting in the 4th frame. 5-bagger. 9 in his first game. Winning at 279 to 225, and now 4.
Versatile Butch Soper. Chris, I've seen him play the big hook. I've seen him throw it straight. He learned to bowl years ago when lanes were quite a bit tougher and you had to have just one hard rubber ball. He's learned all the shots. He's taking advantage of it today. Perfect through 4 frames.
Crossover. Gets them all. 5-bagger. Perfection. Charlie Tapp. We indicated 5 TV finals last year. Bad luck. Placed second to Earl Anthony in the PBA National Championship. He was second in last year's AC Delco Classic. 3rd in the Denver Open. 4th in Houston. 5th at the Showboat, where we go next week.
And some of the scores they shot against Charlie last year, he had a 290 and a 258 shot against him. He's bringing out the best in everybody.
Bracken is striking ways, open with 3, marked with a spare, and now another strike. What changes, we asked him, had he made to improve his game?
When I first came out on tour, I found out exactly how much I didn't know about the game of bowling. And thanks to my friends Tom Baker and Joe Hutchinson, they helped me with my hand positions, and to my coach Jerry Ernster back home, he helped me to hold the ball a little bit lower and swing the ball before I start my approach, and that seems to have made the difference.
Swinging the ball before he starts his approach sets up his timing step, and he moved his hand farther behind the ball to get more spin and better carry. So Chuck learned his lesson from his 2 roommates, Joe Hutchinson and Tommy Baker.
There was some movement off to his right, which broke his concentration for the moment, and wisely, he just backed off. Charlie Tapp has a wireless microphone on, and perhaps from time to time we might get a verbal reaction. that's exactly what Tapp has to do against Butch Soper. Soper with 5 in a row, now shooting in the 6th frame, the halfway point. Our second match, the winner to meet Palmer Falgren, and then the winner of that semifinal to meet the tournament leader, Toby Contreras. High hit. 6-10. Let's get a replay on a profile move of Soper.
Soper is short, is at 5'6", but he can get away with this stiff leg at the foul line. Watch his left leg as he comes through. Good eye, approach, speed. The left leg is a little stiff. He releases the ball, and then he turns his left foot. If you happen to turn it before you release the ball, you have an inaccurate shot. This man does it so well.
So Butch is marked all the way. In his first match, converted a 3-10. And now, of course, getting the 6-10 on the right lane. 9-pin lead, Soper.
Charlie Tapp using that bubble gum to take off some of the tension. So what Soper has to watch for, Chris, is the lanes will start hooking more this week. As we saw him get slicker last week, they'll hook more this week. He's got to make the move with the speed and the ball.
Okay. A little falling apart here now. 1, 2, 10.
He's had 3 shots so far in the 2 matches where he lost the ball and dropped it. This time he missed to the right, didn't get the break, left the washout 1, 2, 10. The other 2 times he pulled the ball and it's set right in the pocket where good breaks. He has a tough spare in front of him.
Very important one. 7th frame. So his first open of the afternoon, Newport Beach's Butch Soper. Now he trails by 5 against Charlie Tapp. More of the second match in the AC Delco Classic soon.
These days, it's excuse.
A great number of nifty guys, members of the PBA, and here's one of them, Palmer Falgren. He's going to meet the winner of this match. He's tough.
They used to call him the Tough Tiger. Just going to bowl 4 tournaments this winter, and he's in shape. Runs in his pro shop in Boca Raton. But now Charlie Tapp has a 5-pin lead. Double working could extend to 15 in the 7th frame.
It's on the right lane of this pair. And the man in blue and gray. He strung 3, then marked with a spare. Now has the 3-bagger up here, so he'll get ready to shoot in the 8th frame. Tall and lanky.
Charlie Tapp bowled as an amateur, Chris, until he was 27 years old. Bowled on 3 state championship teams in Minnesota. And the reason he didn't start the tour, he was a drag racer. Got involved in drag racing for a number of years and just said it was too expensive.
And at 6'5", never played basketball. Needless to say, you always think of that. But he said he got all his height in his senior year of high school and was too awkward and clumsy.
Right there.
Well, you heard him say right there. 4 in a row. Increases his lead now to 25 pins against Butch Soper, who opened with 5 and marked with a spare. An open frame. Let's see if he can come back in the 8th. Coming up soon, Rollade's tip of the week. Sliding by. 1, 2, 8, 10.
He's starting to lose the ball, and what happens to many bowlers as they bowl along, especially the league bowlers, that the thumb is swollen up, and then as you bowl, the thumb goes down, and you start dropping the ball. You see this ball just sliding by. Once again, he's got the washout. What Butch should have done about 3 frames ago was put a piece of tape in the thumb hole. Some players just like to squeeze the ball a little more. Some like to put tape in it. I'm sure Butch would have opted for the tape if he had a chance, but he didn't have any down there.
Went for it. Back-to-back open frames. Disaster in bowling.
Soper going for the washout. Should have tried to hit over in the 1-2 area and drive the head pin over into the 10-pin to knock out the spare. But the ball went too far left, and he didn't get the head pin over to the 10.
The artwork was done by Bo Burton. Pretty good with that telestrator.
Thanks, partner.
Ah, that's more like it. but a consistent Charlie Tapp has a 37-pin lead, 4 in a row here late in the game, now shooting in the 9th frame.
Charlie strikes here, Chris. He will shut out Butch Soper. Tapp with a possible 279, but he has to stay clean to win the match.
Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
That Irene was named Butch Soper on that shot. Charlie Tapp aggressive. Remember him tentative when he used to come out here, Chris, and took a back seat to everybody and let him put the pressure on him. Charlie is going out, and he is aggressive. He's bowling better than ever. Possible 279. Soper knows what's happened. Butch can still shoot a 232, but it's not going to be enough in this game.
Butch with the 279 in his victory in the first match against Ringener. Yes, with that strike, we do have a winner. And nonchalantly, but very tense, Charlie Tapp has won the second match. His opponent coming up will be Palmer Falgren of Boca Raton, Florida. We'll return to Mel's Bowl in Alameda, California after this.
What she got and got a lot of, lots of hair from Prell. Lots of fullness, lots of thickness, lots of hair from Prell. Goodbye limp, goodbye flat, got lots of this and lots of that. Got lots of hair from Prell.
A little Prell leaves you looking like you got lots of rich, lots of thick, lots of full. Thanks a lot, Seth.
Get the hair that's got a lot of, get lots of hair from Prell.
As morning freshness blankets the Thompsons' new house, a grungy film blankets their mouths. They awake to the worst breath of the day.
Morning. Scope?
Mine works. Can't you tell?
Yeah, you've just turned morning breath into medicine breath. Scope leaves your breath minty fresh. Here.
Feels like it's working. New bathroom, new mouthwash. Morning.
Scope fights bad breath, doesn't give medicine breath.
Poor starts, stalling, gas line freeze. Plain gas line antifreeze often isn't enough. Get STP gas treatment. It works 3 ways to tune up your gas. STP gas treatment surrounds water and removes it. Unlike plain gas antifreeze, it also helps clear the entire fuel system and cleans the carburetor for better mileage. Satisfaction guaranteed. Don't get stopped cold. Use STP gas treatment regularly and tune up your gas.
The Harlem Globetrotters return to the Big Apple, and New York will never be the same. Plus, skiers attack the world's most treacherous downhill run. Another great opening, the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
That's right, next, ABC's Wide World of Sports. Meantime, great action here at Mel's Bowl in Alameda, California. 2 matches, 2 winners. Tapp coming up with a big 279 to oust Soper, who gets $6,000. Soper with a 212. See a variety of speed in the action today, as we do each week on our telecasts. Nelson Burton Jr. in the Rolaids Tip of the Week talks about controlling speed to adjust to the conditions of the lanes. It's a good tip. Watch and listen. Here it comes, the Rolaids Tip of the Week.
The Professional Bowler's Tip of the Week is brought to you by Rolaids.
Today's tip is designed for the bowler who may bowl in more than one bowling center, whether it be for league or for recreational play. And in doing so, he's bound to run into various bowling conditions, either hooking lanes or very slick lanes. Now, you can adjust by changing your bowling ball or by moving on the approach, but the simplest way is by varying your speed. So with a split-screen comparison, I'll show you how changing your speed can help you maximize your bowling game. From practicing, I know that the lane on the left has very little oil and will hook more. The lane on the right is slick or oily and is not hooking. These differences mean I need to throw the ball at different speeds. See how the ball on the right has gotten to the pins quicker. It has more speed. To generate more speed, use 2 simple techniques. Move your starting position farther back than usual. This will give you more momentum in your approach to the foul line. Secondly, raise the ball in the starting position. This simple adjustment will automatically increase the arc of your swing, again generating more speed. To adjust for slick lanes, you have to do just the opposite. Hold the ball lower in your starting position and move much closer to the foul line. Remember, if you use the ball speed adjustments, you'll be able to hit all lane conditions.
Roger Staubach for Rolaids.
How do you spell relief?
Another tough competitor named Palmer Falgren of Boca Raton, Florida. Semifinal match, the winner to meet the tournament leader, Toby Contreras. Tap will shoot first.
Both Falgren and Tap using hard plastic or polyester bowling balls, keeping it in play. They don't want the big hook because the lanes are dry. Keep the speed up.
On the left lane. Hey, Bo, that's one way to do it, isn't it? Now Falgren quickly to the line. Oh, yes. It's all even after one frame. Palmer Falgren, 2 PBA titles. He's 31 years old, 6'2", 175.
Psychology of match play. Palmer Falgren knows that Charlie Tap likes to bowl very slow and deliberate. Palmer is bowling fast. Make him get out of his normal pace. It's a good rhythm. Palmer has 11 years experience out here. He's going to use it all in this match.
Winner of the True Value Open. Well, he left the 7-pin. Hope it doesn't get to him. A lot of consternation on his face now.
Headpin goes to sideboard and drives out the 4, 5, and 8, but it doesn't get the 7. Palmer could have caught the wall shot, start off with a quick double, but he's made 2 good shots to start the match. Solid on the right-hand lane, a little light on the left, easy spare.
All right. Strike and a spare for Falgren, and Tap striking the first frame, now shooting in the second. If you just joined us, Soper at 279 to Ringer's 225 in the first match. Tap comes back with 11 strikes, 279 to Soper's 212. Thus, in the semifinal game. Big double. In profile, a replay of Tap.
The big man, he must get down. Watch that left knee bend at the foul line. Watch the good pendulum swing. He has a good piston action from shoulder high. Now watch that left leg as he slides through. You must get down low and extend through if you're a tall player. Short player like Butch Soper can be stiff-legged and still not have the ball bounce at the lane. And notice how close Tap came to the foul line. He's within a quarter of an inch of fouling, Chris.
2 bowling professionals that really enjoy the game of golf. Make it a 3-bagger.
Nikki Gianolis, the Woman Bowler of the Year 1982. If you haven't seen the Pro Bowlers Women Tour, go out and watch these young ladies. They are something. This girl really has it.
Third frame. It didn't come up, leaving the 2-5-8.
The dinner bucket without the 4-pin. Once again, the head pin does most of the action. Goes to the sideboard as the ball slides by and drives out the 4 and the 7. Didn't get the 2, 5, and 8. Tough spare cross lane. Has to concentrate on getting the 8-pin out and still avoid the chop.
Oh. A little tentative at the line, waiting for the result. Palmer Falgren marking with the spare in the 3rd frame. There he is, 13 years a member of the PBA with 2 titles, but has to re-qualify for the Firestone.
2 of the players have won before. Soper and Falgren have both won titles, but they dropped off the tour for Palmer to start his business. Soper just to get going again, and they must re-qualify for the Firestone.
That's what Palmer was looking for. And now that he has found it, his 2nd strike in 4 frames, the Tap is in the lead by 23 pins of our semifinal match. We'll be back.
You're looking at the 2 best reasons.
I always wanted in a beer and less.
Alameda, not far from San Francisco. Windy, rainy day as we look at Charlie Tap, who won the 2nd match with a 279 to Soper's 212. Now in a 23-pin lead with a 3-bagger up, shooting in the 4th frame, of this semifinal game. Professional Bowlers Tour. Get snake bit.
Somebody moved one of their chairs, and you know how that rubber can squeak against that linoleum. He said, ducks flying around. Did sound like a duck, Charlie.
All right, now watch.
Charlie's setting up. Watch his right leg. He kind of, as he adjusts his weight and shifts it as he gets ready to start, it quivers, and then nice smooth stroke.
Sit there and wait and throw the damn ball.
Okay, a 4-6-7.
Chris, and on the 4-6-7, you just don't want to go for it. It's about 1,000 to 1, and he has to just go for the pin count. Charlie, being a smart player, especially with a double working, will just go for the 4-7, not try to slide it over.
Look at that, 10th appearance in a championship round, yet to win. Palmer Frogman, 2 wins. So, you know, 3 in a row, and then an open frame, and his lead has been cut to 8. And then bowling, make an error, you can't recover, can't get it back.
Well, he really had Falgren in trouble. If he could have struck there, he could have extended his lead out to over 20 pins. But right now, it's an almost even match. Falgren does have a strike work and tap up in the 5th.
Yes. Big strike in the 5th frame for Tap. And here's Falgren now, who can take the lead with a strike. 5th frame. Nicely done. Pressure shot.
He's settled down now. The first couple of frames, Chris, you could see his backswing come behind his back, a little loop in his swing, and he tried to pull it through, and it slid by the head pin. Palmer adjusted, kept the swing disciplined behind his back, made a beautiful stroke to take the lead by 2. His father, Colonel Falgren, and Mother Sue have been down here all week from Sacramento rooting him on, plus a big contingent of Sacramento bowling fans.
And wife Lisa back on the East Coast.
And there is Colonel Falgren and Sue Falgren on the right.
Look at Dad. He's uptight. Beautiful release. A stylish professional. Parented by these 2 nice people.
They drive a motorhome around and try to watch Palmer bowl in every tournament that he participates in. This year, just 4 or 5 on a part-time basis.
Now, Charlie has a big shot, trailing by 12. Strike up in the 5th, shooting in the 6th. Semifinal match. The winner to meet, Toby Contreras. Cuts it to 2 now. What a match.
The way Tap's bowling so far this year, I watched him in Miller last week and in the AC Delco Classic this week, Chris. He's so disciplined. He tried to tell me he didn't practice much in December, but you don't get that rhythm and that good piston swing and that smooth stroke under pressure without doing a lot of practice. If he can keep that all year long, he's going to be tough.
Well, next week, Showboat Invitational. How many pros will be there?
Chris, a record field, 420 players going for the top prize at the Showboat.
So that's over 400 of the best pros out of a field of 70 million bowlers in America. Oh, what a comeback by Charlie Tap. 3 in a row now. Takes an 8-pin lead. This is the semifinal in the AC Delco Classic in Alameda, California. A break and then more bowling action. Toby Contreras, not a household name, but what a smile. He's the tournament leader. He's going to meet the winner of this semifinal match. We're in Alameda. Next week, Las Vegas, Showboat Invitational. Then the Quaker State Open in Grand Prairie. On to Miami, Bo.
And we'll see John Smith and the group down in Miami, and then the Rolaids Open in St. Louis, Missouri, Chris. And speaking of people I'd like to say hello to, my good friend Tina Schenkel, your daughter, hope she's recovering from that orthodontic surgery. One of my favorite girls.
Oh, she's doing well, no problems. But Dick Weber in St. Louis, Missouri, tremendously difficult surgery. Fortunately, he's going to be okay. Dick Weber, get out of bed and join us soon.
He'll be ready for the roll-aids.
Palmer Fahlgren wanted them all, leaves the 2.
Palmer just missed to the right. He analyzed that stroke. He was trying to hit about the 8th board out there. He hit the 7th. The ball went wide. Almost leaves the 210. The ball nicks the head pin, and we call that the PBA washout. The 210 or the 2810 gets a break, has an easy spare. Palmer, if he converts this, will be trailing by 9 pins.
And it's getting late in the match, the semifinal. His parents watching. And this is the big pivotal match, because if you get into the final match, the least you can earn is $12,000. If you can win it, $23,000. There you see his career earnings. Not too bad for a protege, Bo.
Almost $250,000, but has a good business going. I think he's happy with what he's doing. Bowling part-time, he's bowling better than ever. Still has a chance to win this match.
One thing about Palmer, he doesn't waste time, does he?
No, he doesn't. He gets up there quick. He used to sit up there and fiddle around, but he's learned, Chris, that if you don't know what you're doing before you get on the approach, you're not going to figure it out in a few extra seconds. Made a great shot right there.
Well, you and Mike Durbin, our statistician, do the same thing.
Oh, Mike's one of the quickest.
Tap has a 3-bagger, 8th frame. Didn't get the 10-pin.
The first solid tap, to use a phrase Charlie doesn't like, that we've had all day long. The solid 10. The 6 goes flying around the 10-pin. That's the first time the players have hit the pocket solid, where it's a apparent strike ball and did not come away with a strike. That would have really put Fahlgren in trouble. Now we have a match.
He's way over, practically leaning against the approach. Cross lane now for the 10. Spare in the 8th, an 8-pin lead held by Charlie Tapp, Minnesotan.
Scoreboard tells the story. Tapp going at a 224 pace, Palmer Fahlgren at a 216 pace. It's who can perform in the clutch. 2 frames left.
What a story in the 4 and 5 record. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, just couldn't get the victory. Very lazy foundation strike for Charlie Tapp. Now, Fahlgren, strike up, 9th frame. Is this a big one, Bo?
To take the lead, Palmer can put the pressure on Charlie Tapp. Needs this to take a 2-pin lead.
Could sort of be a $4,500 shot, because you lose here, you pick up $7,500, but if you go in the finals, you have a chance for 23 or 12. Look at that, 2 pins, and here we are in that final frame, Nelson.
Palmer's at his best, Chris, when his back is to the wall. He is a very funny personality. When he has no chance, he kind of throws in the towel. When he's leading, he gets lackadaisical, as he was in this tournament. But when he's pushed hard enough, the best comes out in Fahlgren. Right now, he can take a 12-pin lead by extending that double to a turkey, 10th frame.
I remember he competed in only 3 events last year, best finish being 11th in the national championship in Toledo.
Chris, this sets up a possibility of a tie with a conversion right here and a strike. Palmer would have a 224 game. Spare strike in the 10th would be 224 for Chuck Tapp. Anything can happen. But they're sitting right in position for a tie match, which would initiate a 2-frame 9th and 10th roll off.
His spare. Colonel Fahlgren.
Palmer needs a strike to make Tapp strike. If Palmer strikes 224, a spare strike would make 224 for Charlie Tapp. There's no way Palmer can shut out Tapp. This is an important ball. Smart move, getting his thoughts together, plus making Charlie Tapp wait a little bit in a crucial situation.
All right. 10 pin. A 223 for Palmer Fogren. Let's get a reaction from Palmer.
He knew he threw it well. Can only be happy with that shot. He threw it well, and that's the most important thing. If he had got a strike there, he would have forced Tapp to double to win. Right now, Tapp needs spare strike to win or a strike on this ball. If he opens, Fogren wins. All sorts of possibilities. Let's see what happens after the first shot.
So now after a reset on the right lane of this championship pair, Charlie Tapp. Charlie Tapp with a big previous game, shooting a 279 against Butch Soper's 212. Here against Palmer Fogren's 223.
Charlie Tapp got tapped in the 8th frame where he could have put Fogren out of the woods. There in the 10th, in the most crucial situation of the match, he got his best break of the day. He tripped the 4-pin out with a 2-pin. All he needs is a good count, and he'll go on to meet Toby Contreras. What an exciting young man coming up in the next match.
Getting 8 pins on the right lane. Congratulations from Palmer Fogren, who gets $7,500. So coming up next, Charlie Tapp will go against Toby Contreras. The Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message from one of our sponsors and station identification.
Everyone enjoys bowling. The Metro Bowling Proprietors Association, with your assistance, is happy to help bring you the Pro Bowlers Tour every Saturday afternoon. There are many reasons bowling is America's largest participant sport. It's downright fun for everybody. Good exercise, a bit of competition. You meet new and interesting people, as well as old friends. Many neighborhood bowling centers offer delicious food, refreshments, games, and entertainment, in addition to league and open bowling. A total entertainment center is your neighborhood bowling center. Stop in anytime and bring a friend.
Control, and of course we'll be returning to the bowling in just a minute or so.
Thank you very much, Jim, bringing us up to date on the Indians finally defeating the Cowboys. Okay, and the other results. Here, we have had a great afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed it. Look at the results. Tapp averaging 255 in 2 games, a 9-pin victory over Palmer Fogren, 232 to 223, and now meets non-winner, non-everything, Toby Contreras, Bo.
Chris, and all the figures for the week, the 6 through 24, the farmer from Idaho, Miller right up there, Marshall Holman, the cranker, Wayne Webb up there, experienced Sam Flanagan and Bobby Knippel up there, Mike Durbin, the Firestone champion, steady. Art Trask coming back from a back injury. Pete Couture, steady. Shortcut Sam Zurich up there. Henry Gonzalez right there, Quaker State champion. Jim Miller warming up for the Showboat next week. Gary Dickinson, Jimmy Pritz always up there. Joe Hutchinson, Ernie Schlegel, the Wizard of Ozio up in 21st place. Peter McCordick looking great this week. Dale Eagle up there, and Tommy Baker, Dapper Tom, wrap out the top 24.
What a group. And here we go now with the final match. 2 professionals, 2 non-winners, bowling for a total of $35,000. And Nelson, this is quite a story. The cheer is for popular 25-year-old Toby Contreras of Kansas City, Missouri, who has really won over the fans. It's only his 4th PBA tournament. He has never cashed. The least he can win is $12,000.
Look at that look, so sincere.
Smooth, but left the 2-5.
Contreras light on his first hit. Same thing that happened to Fogren. Headpin goes to sideboard. There's a 2, 4, 5, 7 standing. The headpin knocks out the 1, 4, and 8. Chris, and this young man just enthused the crowd. He is so nice to watch bowling, and whoever wins this match, whether it be Charlie Tapp or Toby Contreras, Kyle Shedd will be eliminated from the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
So Toby Contreras plugs himself. Oh, he's got it all. Anyway, after the first round in this AC Delco Classic, he stood 57th, went on to become the tournament leader.
And did it in grand style. He didn't back in. He charged, and he was tough in the clutch.
And so is this man. Won the last 2 games with a 255 average. The 10 didn't go, and Charlie can't believe it.
3-pound, 4-ounce pins, and on a normal hit, you would carry that on a light hit, but the 6-pin being a very light pin, Charlie actually drove it around the 10. As you see, it still wiggles. Now,
I think that pin's been drinking.
If it had fallen over after the mechanical pin setter had touched it, it would have had to be reset. Charlie, not with a good break to start, needs a spare to stay even.
He had to shoot this one before. Way to the left, cross lane, 10-pin. Ooh. Blew it.
Missing a spare opening in a match, especially in an inexperienced player like Tony Contreras. What a bad break for Tap. What a great break for Contreras. Charlie looking down at his hand. Remember, he's got blisters all over that hand, and possibly that glove made it perspire a little bit more, and $23,000 first place all add up to a missed 10-pin. Contreras is in the lead, sitting on the bench.
Now in the second frame, final match. Another 10-pin.
Remember Butch Soper in the first match. He went along real well, and then all of a sudden he started losing the ball. Same things happen to Charlie Tap. The pressure, the perspiration, the heat factor out on the lanes is not letting him get the lift on the ball. Gets the weak 10, the 6 lays down the channel. No break. Needs to make this one to keep his confidence going.
Man in 2 victories, 19 strikes. Charlie Tap. He made sure on the left line after blowing it on the right side, first frame. So leading by 11 is Toby Contreras. Music, guitar, piano, ping pong, golf, racquetball. He lists those. And he's a boiler technician.
He's hot this week.
Well, 4-7-10 for this young fellow.
2 things, inexperience and the right-hand lane. We said at the top of the championship round, the right-hand lane breaks quite a bit more than the left-hand lane. He's been sitting there for an hour, and that's what happened. To cut right straight through. Odds for a pro, 12-1. You want to slide the 4-pin over into the 10. Tough shot.
Really went for it. So each professional in this final match with open frames. Charlie and Irma Contreras coming in from Kansas City. Mom and Dad, there they are.
Have to be proud of that son.
Central Missouri State University. Toby attended it for 2 years. Where's it located, Bo? Do you recall?
Central Missouri, Chris. Nice school.
Oh, with an exuberant reaction. Toby gets his first strike on the 3rd frame of his final game. Watch this reaction.
And this is what he captured the crowd with, and the lead with.
Now Tap. Tap had an open in the 1st, spare in the 2nd, now shooting in the 3rd.
Put tape in his thumb hole in between shots, Chris. Let's see what happens now.
It helped. Butch Soper, who probably should have put tape in one of his matches, won the first game 279-225 over Phil Ringinger. Excuse me. Then Tap came back to oust Soper 279-212. Tap defeating Palmer Fogren by only 9 pins, 232-223. Thus, he is in the final.
what kind of tape they use. They can use any white adhesive tape or even black electrical tape, whatever more comfortable, but you must keep the same feel in the thumb. Look at Charlie shaking. He can feel the pressure of the position round and championship match.
High hit, the 3-6.
Charlie just let up on the ball. It's so difficult. That ball can feel like it weighs 100 pounds when you're going for 23,000 and you've never been in the winner's circle. Charlie Tapp has kept his form together almost all the times, Chris, but he has to keep his speed up. If he converts right here, he'll still be leading the match by 4 pins.
Last year's AC Delco Classic, George Pappas beat him with the last 8 of 9 strikes. All right. We're in the final match with 23,000 to the winner, 12,000 to the runner-up. More of this game following this message.
Wherever the racing action.
Mel's South Shore Bowl on the bay outside of San Francisco and Alameda. Come down to the final game, and a non-winner who's captured the crowd here throughout the whole week, Toby Contreras, 25 years old from Kansas City, Missouri, trailing by 4 against Charlie Tapp, who comes into this final game with 2 victories this afternoon. Contreras, strike up, can take the lead.
Stay down.
2-7-8.
Made the adjustment. Remember, he went high on that lane in the second frame and got a split, so he moved a little farther to the left with his feet and gave it room. Expected it to come back. Not so. 2-7-8. Not a real tough split, but you want to hit the 2-pin on the right-hand side, drive it into the 7, let the ball carry out the 8.
Contreras.
You see how he made it, Chris? The ball entered here. The 2-pin went to the sideboard, actually hit the 7 right here, and came over and knocked out the 8. What a nice shot. Good break. Watch the action of the 2-pin. To the sideboard. Keeps him in the match.
25-year-old bachelor from Kansas City. Look at that 10-pin.
Solid, right in the pocket. This 10-pin needs a sobriety test too, Chris. Solid in the hole, 6 flies right over the top of the 10. Not a good break, but the left-hand lanes Toby is zeroed in on, and as long as he can stay loose and keep it in the pocket, he'll give Charlie Tapp a run for the money.
All right. Now Charlie Tapp. +5, he's +9 in the height department, 6'5". Contreras, 5 feet 8 inches tall. It's one of the great things about bowling, all sizes can do it.
Charlie started bowling at the age of 27 on a tour. Toby Contreras started bowling at the age of 7.
Charlie with a strike in that 5th frame. Of course, can increase his lead on the left lane with that strike up.
Charlie asking for a re-rack. Once again, the left-hand lane, we thought we'd see a few of them on there. The 3-pin just slightly off spot. Not much you can do about it. Sometimes it comes up on spot, sometimes not. But you're only allowed 1 re-rack a game. Just how I figured the man who could play the inside line, Chris, would have the best chance to win because they have a more what I call choke or squeeze area. If Charlie drops the ball or pulls a little under pressure, he won't go as high as the players playing the outside line. He has the lead by 5.
And now by 15 as a result of his double. Yet Contreras can still smile. Well, he has a spare up. He'll be shooting in the 6th frame.
How can a guy smile at you right after you just stuffed him for the big 15-pin lead? You almost feel like giving him the money. Charlie Tapp solid in the hole, almost leaves a solid 7. Toby Contreras has to get it together, especially on the right-hand lane.
Three, 6-10 for the man who proves that you use less facial muscles to smile than you do frowning.
Well, he better convert this as Mom and Dad look on, or I think he'll have trouble smiling even, Chris. 3-6-10 across lane. He's having trouble with the right-hand lane. He has to use more speed. He's a little slow. The pressure is working on him.
All right. Toby Contreras. We asked him earlier before competition began why he delayed his tour debut.
A couple of years back, I had an injury at a bottling plant in Kansas City, and 7 months later, I had to have back surgery. And I kept my dream alive to be a professional bowler, and my dream was saved by my fantastic surgeon, Dr. Fowler, who saved my career and my dream as a PBA member.
No feeling in his leg for a month. Surgery for the pinched nerve. 7 months later, he was cured.
Yes!
And a strike today will cure him.
And can he turn the crowd on? He gets a good break, trips the 4-7 out with the 2-pin. And if you notice, before Toby made that shot, he closed his eyes and either said a prayer or went through a mental checklist. Whatever it was, it worked in the 7th. He has a strike up.
The Liberace of bowling, Toby Contreras going against Charlie Tapp. Tapp with a double up, shooting in the 7th.
Hit him.
Three in a row.
Charlie Tapp gets a real good break, as you can see from our action line trailer. He's playing the inside line between the 2nd and 3rd arrow, Chris, and the ball just barely nicks the head pin. He gets what we call the wall shot, and this is the first time I've seen Charlie get a great break in a critical situation. He takes a 28-pin lead. Another 1/8 of an inch, that'd have been a bucket and a tough spare, and we could have had an even match.
See the tension. 3-bagger. Shooting now in the 8th, leading by 28. Could be more. Well, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10.
What a turnaround at a point where he could have just put Toby Contreras away. The match opens wide up. Charlie Tapp with the 5-pin split. He's going to try to take the 6-pin and slide it over into the 4-7 area and hope knock out these 2 pins. The ball will carry out the 6-10.
The odds for a professional, 50 to 1. All but one. Great try. A lot of speed. Charlie Tapp went for it.
Chris, and the great importance of that was pin count. Charlie Tapp had a double working. If he had gotten just an 8 count instead of a 9, he would have been behind, only ahead by 9 pins. Instead, he's ahead by 11. That forces Contreras to get 2 strikes to take the lead instead of 1.
Imagine that as we see the replay.
6-pin hitting against the 9 goes over into the 7. If you're going to make it, it'll bounce either against the sideboard and come back, take out the 4.
Strike up. And now, 1 bowling pin separates these pros. Contreras with a double. Charlie Tapp, 152 through the 8th. 1 pin.
42 games, 4 days. In fact, for Tony Contreras, it's been 5. He's a rabbit. He has to bowl on Monday to even get to Tuesday. Down to just 2 frames, $23,000, and a ticket to Akron for the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
One ball. Just 1 ball.
And you heard him. 1 ball. Wireless microphone. You can see it there up near his chin. Oh, acknowledging the crowd. Show business.
The ball speaks for itself. A tremendous shot, the best. But after that ball knocks all the pins down, watch Toby Contreras. Harry Smith, here we come. Remember the great Tiger. Tap is trailing for the first time in the match by 9.
Winner of 2 games with a .255 average, getting into the finals. Tap. Brooklyn. Foundation strike for Charlie Tap.
Charlie Tap got a good break in the 7th, couldn't capitalize on it in the 8th, got a tremendous break in the 9th, needs a strike to retake the lead from Toby Contreras. $23,000 ball for Charlie, more than that for both players. That's first place, neither one of them eligible for the Firestone. It's amazing how those pins don't look quite on spot when you need one shot for $20,000 or more, Chris.
Harry Golden, the tournament director, agrees. There he is.
Charlie Tap must strike on this ball to retake the lead.
Hope you're enjoying the competition. We're in Alameda, California live next week. Las Vegas and the Showboat Invitational. Then Grand Prairie, Texas. Seesaw battle here in Alameda. Toby checking that overhead score sheet as we replay the reaction of Tap.
Charlie Tap takes the lead with that shot. He leads by 1. The situation is set up. Chris, Tap can possibly shoot .212. He cannot shut out Toby Contreras. No matter what Tap does, Contreras will have a chance to control his own destiny in the 10th frame. If Tap doesn't strike here, we have a possibility of a tie.
Okay. Well, Charlie Tap has sprung 3. Just tremendous pressure, bowling. Pressure.
Still one more big shot left. Charlie Tap with a .212 and a strike on this ball. 9er strike on this ball would force Contreras to get 2 strikes. For Tap, once again, 9 or a strike on this ball will force Contreras to strike twice.
Talk about pressure shooting and $35,000 at stake. 23 if you win, 12 if you don't. Charlie Tap, a .212, finishing with 4 in a row. Now with 3 in a row up, Toby Contreras, who has never cashed.
Needs 2 strikes to win. He must strike on both balls. Now he bowls out of the tough Midwest region, Kansas City area, so he's had a lot of pressure over the years from the great stars, but no more than he ever sees right here.
Just one ball.
Oh, isn't that something? Adrenaline.
The youth of America right here. We raise them strong and tough in the United States, and here's living proof right here. He needs 1 strike. Never been in this situation before.
Wow,
11,000 on this ball, but much more to this young man. A trip to Firestone, it all rides, a whole career.
And Tap, who has been 2nd, 3rd, and 4th so often, has finished with a .212, bowling 4 in a row. Now with 4 in a row, this shot.
Unbelievable, Chris. What a shot.
We have just seen 8 strikes, 4 by each bowler. make it 9 strikes. 5 by Contreras. Sponsored on the beginning by his dad and brother. And after today, he could pay his own way. If he, well, he can anyway, should he be the runner-up.
Needs 1 pin. It's not over.
Right.
I've seen stranger things happen. He needs 2 pins to win. He needs 2 pins. I'll tell you, Chris, this is as fine a performance as I've seen by anybody. Anybody. What a young man. This is inspiring.
Finally did a look, and 6-bagger, the making of a champion. You saw it right here on ABC Live, and on Wide World, which follows, you have seen many champions in the process of becoming just that. Toby Contreras, a victor from Kansas City. Oh, we'll be back. Six in a row, the non-winner Toby Contreras defeats Charlie Tapp 221 to 212, and a man that really appreciates competition is the General Motors Vice President, executive in charge of General Motors Service Parts Operation, Archie Long there on the right with that magnificent trophy and a check for $23,000. Mom and Dad are there too. Once again, the winner of the AC Delco Classic, Toby Contreras, 221, Taps 212. Next week, join us at 3:30 Eastern Pacific, 2:30 Central for stop number 3 on the Professional Bowlers Tour, the $150,000 Showboat Invitational live from Las Vegas. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. Stay tuned for the season's premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports next. This has been an ABC Sports presentation.
Sunday.
May I have my husband back?
It's the most seductive place in the world.
Slept with any actors lately?
Is it worth the price you pay?
Our marriage won't survive it.
James Coburn, Valerie Perrine, George Hamilton, Kim Novak, Malibu.
Tomorrow.
No matter what the season, there's a sport for every Minnesotan. From hockey to baseball, from peewees to pros, you follow the teams in